Alright, so this just popped into my head, so I want to get it out of the way and see if you guys like this idea. Okay, it is, what if female Deku was Sirenhead? Okay, now, this is going to be based, the Sirenhead that you see, female Deku Sirenhead that is going to be in this story is sort of like inspired from a story called The Wife of Sirenhead. So that's sort of like what the look for is going to be inspired by. So we'll begin with Izumi in an orphanage, because when she was born with arms that are about as long as her legs, and sort of like a very malnourished body, and two what appeared to be siren mouths on top of her head, along with a normal human face. As her parents were disgusted by her look, so they dropped her off at an orphanage. As Izumi is growing up, she is picked on and bullied due to her quirk being monstrous and villainous. As this would have brought down her self-esteem quite a bit, as she basically couldn't even see herself being a hero. In fact, every time she looked in the mirror, all she saw was what people would call a monster, a freak, something that shouldn't exist. As she's walking down the street, as she's walking down the street, in the street with a hoodie, she wears like hoodies to cover up the two sirens that are on the top of her head. As she then looks to where Park is, as they see a young blonde girl being picked on by a bunch of kids, as she would walk over to them, as she would tell them to leave her alone. And if you're wondering why I'm taking such long breaks from speaking, it's because I have a drink with me, so I'm drinking right now. It's just a juice, okay? As they look to Izumi, as they'd say, "What are you going to do?" Now, if I remember correctly, Sirenhead's abilities is that they are really strong, as she'd basically smack the boy who's bullying this girl, away, as he would land in the branches of a tree. As she then, as the other kid would try to attack her, as she would basically crush him into the ground, not actually killing the kid, but just injuring him to the point where he can't move. As the other kid, who had a fire quirk, would basically send a wave of flames at her, which would catch her hoodie on fire as she would land a punch on the kid, which would send him into a few bushes, as the hoodie would end up burning away, as her sirens are shown, and her long black hair, along with her 2 ruby red eyes. As she'd walk over to the girl, as she would ask this girl as she would ask this girl if she was alright. As this young girl would say that she's fine, as Izumi would ask what is her name, and she would respond with, hold on, as she would say her name is Yu Takayama. As she would also ask what is her name, as she would say that her name is Izumi. Now, just for this one, I aged Mount Lady down quite a bit to where she's the same age as Izumi, so she will be attending UA with Izumi. Okay, so UA will be a college in this one, just like with some of my other wives. As you would respond with, what is your last name? As Izumi would say that she doesn't have a last name, and that she was left at an orphanage. As you would say that she's so sorry, and she'd ask, what is her quirk? As she said that her quirk is called sirenhead. As she had explained that her quirk gives her a very skinny appearance, like to the point where she looks malnourished, actually mummified. She also has very long arms and very long legs, along with the 2 sirens that you see on top of her head, along with the fact that she can grow up to 40 meters, which I believe is Sirenhead's canonical height. Hold on, let me check real quick. Actually, when I checked, it was 40 feet, which I believe is about 15 meters. As she would say that she can grow up to about 15 meters. As Izumi would ask, what is Yu's quirk? As she would say that she doesn't have hers yet, and that her quirk is, but they think that it will be a gigantification quirk. As Izumi would say, oh, so like my quirk then? As Izumi would say, you know what, how about this? How about, you want to be, as Izumi would ask, so do you want to be friends? No, you would ask if Izumi would want to be friends with her. As Izumi would ask, what is a friend? As you would say, wait, you've never had a friend? As Izumi would say, no, I haven't. All the kids at the orphanage have quite heroic quirks, so they usually are the ones who get adopted. As you would say, well, a friend is like somebody you can count on, somebody who will help you when you need it. As Izumi would say, sure, I'd quite like a friend. As you would shake Izumi's hand, as she'd say, from this point onward, we are friends, and nothing will change that. As Izumi would say, yeah, as she'd also shake Yu's hand as Yu's Yu's parents would call her saying that they need to go home. As Yu would say, "I've got to go. See ya." As Izumi would say bye. As Yu would walk back to her parents, while Izumi heads back to the orphanage. And that is where I'm going to end this part off. I do hope you guys, actually not this part, this is like a little test to see if you guys want this series. So this is just going to be a little test to see if you want it. So that's all. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next part to Quetzalcoatl, maybe.